Hello, everybody. I'm Dave Robbins with Endtime Ministries, and this is your Prophecy in the News. I want to talk to you about Obama's trip to Israel. Of course, he landed in Israel this morning on March 20th, and it's actually a prophetic trip. He's actually talking about two prophecies in the Bible, and they're the next two prophecies to occur on God's prophetic timeline. So let's look at an article that I read this morning from the Star Tribune on March 20th, and let's see what those two prophecies are. The title of the article is Obama in Israel for the first trip as president, and his topics that he's going to talk about are the Middle East peace, Iran, and Syria are on the top of his agenda. So what are the two prophecies? Well, the first prophecy is a war that will emanate out of the Middle East region that will, when all the smoke clears, it's going to kill 1/3 of the world's population, and it will start right there in the Middle East. The prophecy is found in Revelation chapter 9, verses 13 through 21, and I'm going to read verses 14 and 15 to you. It says, saying to the sixth angel which had the trumpet, loose the four angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates, and the four angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour, a day, and a month, and a year, for to slay the third part of men. So there's a war coming that will emanate out of the Middle East region, and when the smoke clears, it's going to kill 1/3 part of men. So the article states that in Obama's trip, it says, preventing Iran from developing a nuclear weapon and the Syrian crisis from spilling over into the border region are top priorities of Israel and the United States, although they have differed in the past on precisely how to achieve both ends. Iran, in particular, has been a vexing issue as Iranian leaders continue to defy pressure from the U.S. and other world powers to prove that its nuclear program is peaceful and not, as many suspect, cover for atomic weapons developments. So two of the main reasons that Obama is in Israel right now is to discuss with Netanyahu how to overcome the Syrian crisis in the north. And of course, we heard a couple days ago that there were rumors that they already used a chemical weapon, which is a red line for Israel and would bring military intervention unto them and NATO. And then he's also dealing with the Iran crisis in the southwestern of the Middle East, southeastern, where they're talking about building nuclear weapons and destroying Israel. And Israel and the United States has said, not going to allow that to happen. So they're talking, the Middle East is like a boiling point right now. And it's like a tinderbox, and there's a lot of people standing around with lit matches. It wouldn't take anything for that to explode. So that's one prophecy that they're talking about, is the sixth trumpet war found in Revelation 9, verse 13 through 21. The second prophecy that Obama will be discussing is a peace treaty signed in the Middle East. We know that there's a peace treaty will be signed by the world powers. The Bible says the Antichrist will confirm a covenant with many for a final 7-year period, and that will launch us into that final 7 years before the Battle of Armageddon. Well, the prophecy is found in Daniel 9:27. It says, and he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week, or a week of years, 7 years. And in the midst of the week, he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease. And for the overspreading of abomination, he shall make it desolate, even until the consummation, and that determined shall be poured out upon the desolate. So what does this mean? Well, we know there's going to be a peace treaty signed in the Middle East that will begin the final 7 years. And this peace treaty, how will we know it's the right peace treaty? Well, this peace treaty will allow for the final borders of Israel. It will finally let us know that, hey, it's letting the world know that, hey, this is Israel's right to exist. It's set in their final borders with a Palestinian state along the side, and it will allow for them to rebuild their third temple. And so Obama is talking about this is going over. This is one of his main topics. The Middle East Peace Treaty, getting the renegotiations started again. It says from the article, there is a clear metric to measure the success of Obama's 3-day stay in Israel and the West Bank. How much is he able to reverse the perception that his administration is not fully committed to Israel's security? Obama will make an almost perfunctory visit to the cash-strapped Palestinian Authority's headquarters in the West Bank, where he will meet embattled Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas to assure him that an independent Palestinian state remains a U.S. foreign policy and national security priority. Obama plans to make clear that his administration intends to keep trying to get talks relaunched. So he's talking about the Middle East peace treaty, and he's going to see Abbas and let him know that, hey, this is one of the United States' top priorities is Middle East peace in the Mideast. And so Obama talking about two prophecies as he goes over there. He's there today, and he's talking about the two main prophecies that are next to occur on God's prophetic time clock. And that is a war that will emanate out of the Middle East region that will end up killing 1/3 of the world's population, and also a Middle East peace treaty that will be signed. Once that peace treaty is signed, allowing for the final borders of Israel and the rebuilding of the third Jewish temple, that will launch us into the final 7 years to the Battle of Armageddon. And Obama is talking about that today and tomorrow in Israel. And we wanted to keep you informed to let you know where we're at on God's prophetic time clock. Thank you for watching. I'm Dave Robbins with Endtime Ministries, and this is your Prophecy in the News.